Welcome to The Big Picture. I'm Phil Arno. On this big picture, we're going to talk about what it means to be a Western New Yorker. Buffalo, Western New York, is truly one of the most unique places in this or any country. We're not just a spot on the map, not just buildings and concrete, not just roadways and potholes, although we have plenty of those. No, Buffalo is a community, in the best sense of the word. Quality of life that we enjoy here is a gift. Unless you've lived elsewhere, you may just take that for granted, just how blessed we are. People here don't know what a real traffic jam is, believe me. We have good restaurants and theater, we have skiing in the winter and beaches in the summer, and unlike big cities elsewhere like New York and Los Angeles, we don't have to plan our lives around crowds. But there's something else, something that's hard to describe. Buffalo really is the city of good neighbors. We may get peeved at the guy on the 33 who cuts us off, or maybe living in New York State might be a little bit of a challenge. But our commitment to each other, the integrity of our population, is beyond anything you can find anywhere else in the country. A perfect example is something we have here that exists nowhere else in today's world. For the past 63 years, the people of our community have come together and given of their time and their money to honor and support our hometown children's hospital. Yes, it's that time of the year again. On March 21st and 22nd, WBBZ-TV and WGRZ-TV will be hosting the 64th Annual Variety Club Telethon. That's our topic for the show, and I'm pleased to welcome Kathy Kaminsky, who's the chairwoman of this year's telethon, and Susan Grelick, who is the co-chair of the telethon this year. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
It's really astounding to have a telethon in today's age. It used to be fairly common, but nowhere else in the country do they have telethons like this, and certainly not for 65 years or 64 years. Every year, our community comes together and it pulls this off, and it's a tremendous success, and it's all due to the people of Western New York. Not just the people who contribute, but the people who volunteer. Tell me a little bit about how many people come together every year and put this together.
Well, first of all, the telethon just doesn't start on the 21st and 22nd of March, as it will this year. The day after the telethon of last year, we basically start all over again and prepare for our next telethon. There are hundreds of events. There's hundreds of people that support us and do different events. We're very fortunate in our community to have all these people come together for us.
And it's not just children's hospitals. There's a lot of charities that benefit from this telethon. Kids escaping drugs, well, talk about some of the other.
Yeah, there's at least 32, or at least about 30 organizations that are also helped, children's charities that are helped by the Variety Club Telethon. There's the Kids Escaping Drugs, there's the Jewish Center of Buffalo, there's the Boys and Girls Club, Cradle Beach Camp, Ronald McDonald House, which provides housing and transportation, which is just steps away from the hospital, the Robert Warner Rehab Center. All these organizations that provide continuing care for families that are in need. Therapy, rehabilitation therapy, occupational therapy, safe spaces for young people, camps, after-school programs.
And you said it. It's charities that benefit the people who are most in need. You know, our children, the children of the community. That's our future, and that's who we come together to support. And it's the ones who most need our help. Growing the people of Western New York, the young people, I guess that fits in with the equation that makes us so caring throughout this area. So we come together when something, a blizzard or something happens, somebody's house is on fire, and we have to come together and help our neighbor. Everybody seems to step up with no hesitation in this area, and that's something it's really unique in the country. I mean, there's a lot of places that are caring, but nothing like the grassroots of Buffalonians and Western New Yorkers. It's really astounding. And this year, Russ Salvatore is the honorary chair.
Yes, he is.
And he's worked with a young man named Sully. Tell me a little bit, our celebrity child.
Okay, our celebrity child is Sully Metelli, and he is 10 years old, and he is a twin. He was born at Children's Hospital and had several complications at the beginning, but he is autistic, but he is doing an amazing job. And he actually will be on the telethon playing his violin, and he will have his Taekwondo class also there.
This is a picture with Russ with Sully, and it's all about this. This puts a face to what we are doing in this telethon. It kind of touches your heart every year when you see these young people who have benefited so much from the efforts that we put forth. Tell us a little bit about some of the celebrities that are coming in to perform here on those 2 days.
Well, we're going to be having Hit and Run coming in, a great band that a lot of people follow quite often. We have Will Holton, Sydney Sturlace, who is from West Seneca, and she was on The Voice. Van Taylor, Taylor Made Jazz, our polka band, Ramblin' Lou, and we will have also our Buffalo Joe Andreessen, number 44. He will be appearing from the Buffalo Bills, civic leaders, and many TV personalities.
Now, tell me a little bit about how you guys got involved. I mean, you were a past chair years ago, and you're going to be the chair next year. So what brought you into taking part of this whole event?
Well, in 1991, I decided to do a fundraiser. I have a nephew that was 7, and he is severe autistic. And I wanted to do something to give back to the hospital because I was so appreciative of what they did. So I started doing a little dance. It was called Dance Back in Time. And I wanted the children to be able to come to it, as long as the parents, and have a big basket raffle, food, music. And I had some women from Variety Club that showed up to the event and asked me to be a part of it. And that's basically what started my 35 years of journey with Variety Club.
You talk about 1991, and my first thought is, yeah, that's not too long ago. And then you think about, wait a second, that was about 36 years ago. So yeah, that's not so recent. You've been involved for a long time in this.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
Susan?
So I got involved through Kathy because we both worked for the town of Amherst. I was the town supervisor, and Kathy was a foreman in the highway department, and she was involved in Variety Club, and I started helping her out with her various events, her cocktail parties. We had a Halloween pet parade contest and all kinds of events, and I started working with her on those, and she got me involved in Variety. So I also have been involved in Variety Club since 1991, 92. On and off.
It's just interesting, like what you just said. Taking part in something like this is contagious. You tend to see what's going on, and it makes you feel good to be able to contribute to the effort. And that's what makes it so successful. So many people are involved in this, and I can't tell you behind the scenes how many people. I mean, you'll see it at the telethon, all the people manning the phones and the people who come to perform. It's just, it's like no other experience. And when you think about the good intentions that everybody in the back of their mind has for this. It's just, it's astounding. It's really, really special. Tell me a little bit about some of the other events that happen or will be happening, you know, in conjunction with this.
Oh, yeah, I'm just so amazed at all the events that Variety Club has throughout the year. And as Kathy said, it's all year long. During the summer, there's cruise events, there's the Kids Day, there's events at the Bison Field, the support the baseball events, there's a holiday event, there's a sold-out Santa brunch that the Variety Club has every year that's so well attended. Shred and Reagan do the meat raffle, which is sold out every year as well. The women of Variety Club sell candy bars, Fowler candy bars at the Galleria and at the bowling alleys, at the senior centers. There's potluck suppers, there's pancake breakfasts. There's so much that goes on all year long.
Yeah, it is truly a magnificent effort, and it just doesn't boil down to those 2 days where we have it on TV. So that's kind of it says something about Western New York. Is, you know, people, you know, all year long, they're helping. It's not just, you know, a feel-good thing for a couple of days, and that's part of what makes it so special in Western New York. The corporate sponsors, corporate partners that we have. I mean, there's so many, and in the next segment we'll get into more specifically some of the companies that we rely on so much. But just very briefly, there's a couple of companies that we should mention. Delta Sonic has got a special promotion for this. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, Delta Sonic first did the Roundup Your Change. And now they have the booklets going on. They're selling their booklets for $5. And Delta Sonic has been amazing for us. We just appreciate so much what they have done for Variety Club in the past several years.
Okay, well, that's it for this segment. We're going to come back. We're going to talk more about the telethon, and hopefully you'll be involved coming up in just a few short weeks. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back to The Big Picture. We're talking about the Variety Club Telethon, the 64th annual Variety Club Telethon. And with me, my guests are Kathy Kaminsky, who is the chairwoman from this year for this year's event, and Susan Grelick, who is the chairwoman for next year. She's co-chair this year. And we've been talking about a lot of things, the people who volunteer, the events. First of all, let's talk a little bit about the main charity, which is Children's Hospital. Yeah. It's now the Golisano Children's Hospital, and the services, I mean, just personally, I can say my daughter was born prematurely in Poland. She's adopted, and we brought her here. She has a mild case of cerebral palsy. She's affected just her lower legs, but she had difficulty in walking, and we had a tremendous amount of help from Children's Hospital with braces and therapy, and today she's a 22-year-old beautiful young woman, and she gets along fine in the world. And we owe so much to Children's Hospital. They provide such a great service. A little bit about some of the things that the Children's Hospital does for our youngest people.
Well, my first celebrity child 20 years ago was Brianna Wick, and Brianna was born at 1.5 pounds in Women's and Children's Hospital at the time, and it was very early, and they were absolutely amazing in the neonatal intensive care unit. And today, Brianna has just graduated with a degree in, she's doing amazing. And there's so many children out there, like you say, that have had such wonderful help from Children's Hospital. And we are so appreciative, all of us, for what they do.
It's been an institution here for, longer than I can remember. I was born in Children's Hospital. I don't know whether they're proud of that or not, but yeah, it's been around forever, really, and it's been an integral part of our community. And it's not just people like myself who was born there, but it's the people who are born with problems, physical problems, and need the help. Yeah. And that's what it's all about. That's what kind of touches your heart when you see these people, these young, people that are so innocent and so loving, and they don't know that they're, different, that they need more than other people. It's a way of life for them. It's what they're born with, and it's what they're used to, and they get help, and it just kind of touches your heart when you think about it.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And also having a nationally recognized hospital here in Western New York means that families can stay here. They don't have to go to Pittsburgh or New York City or Cleveland. They can stay here and they can get help. And it's one of the reasons a lot of people want to move to an area. They want to come to an area that has facilities like children's hospitals, because they know that if they need them, they have them right at home, and they can all stay close as a family during a difficult time. And it also has a tremendous economic impact on Western New York. Tons of high-paying jobs, and it's a wonderful research facility. It has cutting-edge therapies.
And the new building that they have and the new facility is just astounding. It's just, I don't know whether, people here know it, but that facility it kind of takes your breath away. It's really something. And you're so right. There are so many areas in the country that would give their left arm to get the facilities that we have here and the help that are just around the corner. You don't have to go hundreds of miles in order to get what is so desperately needed. Russ Salvatore, he's been so generous with so many parts of Western New York, and he's involved now. Tell me a little bit about what Russ does to help.
Okay, so again, a little over 20 years ago, I went to see Russ because he was a friend of my family, and I went to see him, and I'll never forget the day when I saw him, and I said, geez, Russ, I said, I would really love you to be my honorary chairman. And he goes, I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could do it. I said, you could. I said, all you've done for the community. He said, well, I don't do well on TV. I'm not sure. Well, we went down to Channel 7 at the time, and he was greeted very warmly, and they made him feel very welcome. And at that point, it started out for him. And now, 20 years later, when I went back to him and I said, Russ, would you do me a favor and be my honorary chairman again? He says, well, I said, you can't say that you're not used to the TV with all those wonderful commercials you do now. I said, and he said, okay. He says, I don't know if you want me at my age now, 92 years old. I said, Russ, you are just amazing to the community, and we would really appreciate anything that you can do for us. And he agreed to do it.
He is quite a character, and he does so much for Western New York. And, just a shameless plug for Russ Salvatore, his steaks, chops, and more. It's one of the best places to eat that all of Western New York has. I mean, the food there is to die for. If you haven't been to Russ's Steaks, Chops, and More, you should give it a try. And that's just,
definitely,
that's just on me. It's just, talking from personal experience, it's tremendous. And Russ has done so much for the various hospitals, and he's very humble. He doesn't take a lot of credit. He sees something that needs to be done, like a boys' club or a senior citizens home that had some problems, and he stepped up and did the repairs and a new wing, and he buys television sets for the hospitals, and it's the list of things that Russ has done for Western New York is longer than, I mean, we need a 2-hour show in order to talk about it. So, you know, hats off to Russ Salvatore for everything that he does to help. We talked about the 64 years of this tradition. And during those 64 years, and it was at Channel 7 for many years. It actually started at Channel 2 for the first couple of years. And then it went to Channel 7, and I started my career out at Channel 7. So I remember back on Main Street when people would come to our big studio and wait in line and put, you know, their dollar bills in the basket. And it was quite the event then. And now, after decades and decades, it's moved over to Channel 2 and Channel 5, WBBZ, and the tradition continues. Paul Cambria and Darius Pridgeon, they do the heavy lifting, so to say, during the entire telethon. You know, they're ageless and their energy levels unbelievable. So it's something to tune in for. The celebrities in the past, there's been so many. Tell us about some of the names that we've had over the years.
Well, we've had people from TV shows like Bonanza, Lorne Green, and Paul Marshall from Hollywood Squares. And we've had like a lot of Broadway show stars from the theater, and of course Irv Weinstein, Channel 7. He's our TV personality, and so we've had a lot of celebrities over the years that have joined us. And I'm going to be next year. It'll be 65 years, so it'll be really a great thing if we'd be able to show some of those clips of those TV stars. We had someone from Car 54, Where Are You? Right. One of the stars from there. And so it just goes on and on.
The guy who played Joker on Batman, I can't remember what his name was. He was a guest one time. Forrest Tucker was a guest one time. You know, there were a lot of, and last year, as recently as last year, we had Happy Days, Ralph Malph.
Ralph Malph, yes. He did a great job.
He did a tremendous job.
Yes.
So every year we have something special to tune in for. It's quite entertaining. In addition to everything else being such a good cause, tune in for the music, for the celebrities, for the laughs. It's a good experience. You know, the companies, the corporate partners that we had. We talked a little bit about Delta Sonic. I believe they have a booklet that of specials. It's worth over $450 worth of coupons, and you can get it for what, $5?
$5.
You know, I mean, talk about a good investment, and it all goes to the charity. So, you know, and there's a lot of corporations, a lot of businesses that take part every day during the presentation, the telethon. We see businesses step up and they have the big checks that they donate. So tell us about some of the corporate partners that we have.
Yes, so we have Paula's Donuts. Right. We have Fowler's Chocolate.
Fowler's Chocolates, they have a special.
Yes, we're at the Galleria Mall. Right. Every day for the next couple weeks up till the telethon. We sell our candy bars. I believe we even sell possibly sell our hearts. And they're doing a phenomenal job. They actually stay there from 12 o'clock until 5 every day, 7 days a week selling these. We also have been doing something for many years in the bowling alleys. Several of our volunteers will go to the bowling alleys and we sell candy bars through the evening. And we've made thousands of dollars doing that. It's,
it's, again, I want to remind everybody, this is going to happen on WGRZ on the 21st of this month. And it's going to be on WBBZ, on this station, on the 22nd. So there's Saturday the 21st and Sunday the 22nd. And it's going to be nonstop. It's constant entertainment and celebrities and music, something to behold. Again, as unique as this is, and you don't see it anywhere else in the country, why do you think it is that so many people embrace this in Western New York?
Well, you know, Phil, I think you said it at the beginning. Western New York has a big heart. And when there's a need, they all come together. It's not like any other place. It really isn't.
You know, it's for everybody out there, I think you can identify with one thing, and that is the greatest feeling that you have in life is not so much when you get something, when somebody gives you a gift. The greatest feeling is when you reach out and you give something to someone else that you care for, or someone else that's very deserving. The feeling, it almost gives you chills, the feeling of warmth that personally each person has when they do something good for someone else, it far outweighs anything else in life that gives you just a good feeling about yourself. And basically that knowledge that everybody wants to be a good person, there's no better way than to reach in and take part and give to the most deserving amongst us, the young children of Western New York. I think that's about it for all, the time that we have on this big picture. I want to thank, Kathy and Susan for being my guests.
Thank you.
And I want you all to tune in on the 21st and the 22nd for the 64th Annual Variety Club Telethon. We'll see you next time on The Big Picture. Thanks for watching The Big Picture, and thanks for watching WBBZ-TV. We really appreciate you.